I wanted to talk about something called OBS Ninja. And
Yes.
before I
Joe?
get deep into it, because we got a couple people here, we're going to talk about everything. It's going to be awesome. Lately, it has been a new thing where these channels are starting to produce like multiple sourced events. You've got multiple DJs, you've got multiple people in different locations. And we've been using, like right now, we're using Zoom. We've been using things like Zoom and I've seen other people that use Amazon Work Server and things like that for creating these solutions for being able to connect us all and then broadcast it like this. And one of the newest, not newest, but one thing that caught my eye was something called OBS Ninja. And I came across this a couple months ago, and I've been watching it develop, and it's getting better and better. And basically, it's a really simple magic server in the sky that costs you nothing, and you can create a group chat in OBS. You can add your camera like wirelessly over the internet to OBS. I mean, in other words, from anywhere you have an internet connection, and you can do like a remote screen share. You have the flexibility, unlike this Zoom call. Like right now in this Zoom call, there's two views that I can do it in. I have a view where I can do it like this, where the person who's talking gets the talk box, and then everybody else in the Zoom is shuffled above. And then there's the view that we hang out in, the gallery view like this. And with this OBS Ninja, you actually have the ability to take all of these camera feeds that are coming into Zoom and instead route them as individual video sources with decent audio and video quality, better than Zoom audio quality for sure, in your OBS, like with ease. And I'm absolutely impressed with it. Now, I'm not an expert, and I have no real world usage experience with it yet. I haven't gone live using OBS Ninja yet, but I've been testing it offline with friends, doing conference calls and faking it in OBS offline, and I'm not mad at it. And so I wanted to take a little bit of a look into it. And we've got two people in the room right now. One person has just recently finished a marathon stream on his channel using OBS
this weekend.
Ninja. Nope. And the other person has one coming up this weekend.
Oh, okay.
So we've got two experiences, and both of them have been going ham with OBS Ninja for like the last couple of weeks. And so I would first want to start with my homie E-Rock. He has been using OBS with Sugar Shack Radio, and I want to ask you, first of all, how was the experience? How did you use it? And then how was your experience? Could you please go into that for us?
Yeah, man. So when you gave it over to me, and I'm looking, the camera's over here because I'm gonna feed the screen up, so I'll show that over here. So I open the window here, up on the right side here where the Sugar Shack logo is. That's the actual chat room. So on this station, anybody can video chat at any time. So if I hop in the shack right now, using this, and I just hit start, and we'll go infinite window here, but you'll see I'll pop up here on the right side. And so what can I use this for? Well, on the right side, I have the DJ, I have the actual shack listeners, and then on the left side, I've got the DJ. And now I have that actually put into my channel points as well. So somebody can come in here, and if they're a sub, or if they spend channel points, they can actually do a social time for 5 minutes, redeem it, and it actually brings the social window up live. Same thing with the DJ. And then us as mods can swap the OBS view based on what we're doing. So if there's a lot of people in the chat room, I bring up the social media and we have social time for a little bit. Or I swap over to the DJ, just depending on what's going on. And I'm using Trigger Fire on the back end thanks to Joshua Carl for this idea. And it's been a godsend, man, for sure. Let me get off the infinite screen here. And the other good thing about it too is when you close out the windows, right? you just get whatever you want to put behind the actual video screen. So when it closes out and there's nobody here, what'll happen is it'll just fade over to a Shack logo. And then I can trigger the OBS overlay back to the main screen once it clears out, or I can do that now. Very awesome. And like I said, from a control standpoint, when you get people in here, you can hang up on them, move them around. Like Billy said, every single person shows up in a window in here, and then you can grab the individual links and actually pull them off. And let me get logged in and I'll show you. You can actually pull them off into individual overlays, whatever. So if you wanted to build a really cool OBS overlay, for example, and then take each one of these individual feeds and say, put each DJ in a window or something crazy like that, you could do that. And then maybe even hand off what you're doing, you know, musically that way as well. So you can see here where I've got transfer, add to scene. So I can even transfer them out to a whole new thing, or I can do a solo link right here. Everything you need is in here, and it's password based. So everything you do, you can actually put security on, all the other goody stuff too. It's been a huge time saver and lifesaver for the Shack for sure. I can't thank Billy enough for finding it for me.
Absolutely outstanding, man. So did you, when you were using it in your presentation, did you run into any reproducible snags or any weird gremlins along the way?
Yeah, so the latest update, it's been better. Prior to the original this update I had now, you couldn't hang up on people. So if you gave out your password and you had somebody nefarious come in, no quality control. You were kind of just effed in the A there. And so now it's password control. And you can
Captain Whipout's going to have his way, huh?
Yeah.
Some special social time.
Yeah.
That's it, man. You hit the channel one time and you set the password one time, that's it. It's made, it's done. And you can't go back and edit that yet. They don't have a way to do that yet.
You can actually make a new room.
Yeah. You got to make
with a different password. I mean, you can make like the same name room with a different password.
Yeah, and then that works. I've done that as well. Yeah.
Which is weird.
Other than that, it's locked up a few times where I've had to go into OBS and actually manually refresh to get it to come back. And that's both been the video side and the audio side. So it was doing video just fine one time, and then the audio just went, and I had to refresh it manually. Even doing the eyeball, nothing. Aside from obvious and a complete OBS closeout. And then the other thing, same thing with the video side. Just I was having audio, sat down in the chair, got a page off the bot, and I came in and sat down, and sure enough, the dudes, they're rocking it on OBS Ninja, but on the actual overlay, it's just his audio on a blank screen. So.
Do you think that has something to do with the way OBS is translating the information coming through the browser source?
I have no idea. I'm still tracking this bug. I've had this bug with the audio from, so I feed audio into this radio station from a Shoutcast relay source, and every once in a while the audio just disappears in OBS. And closing out the audio feed, re-adding it, it doesn't matter. I have to completely close OBS and start it from scratch again. And again, this is when we're getting into the 300+ hour range.
Right.
Wow. We're talking ludicrous hours here at that point, because
that's like 10 solid dumps, dude. 10 easily.
That's weeks of tacos, son.
Yeah, that's.
Well, the I know is the Twitch server that actually runs the Shack. I'm very fortunate. It's all donated parts that came out of something that was going to go in a dumpster. Really, the only thing I got a nice NVIDIA card for the server that's running it. That's the only cost on it, and even where it lives.
Which card did you get?
Donated from Twitch people, man. Just listeners and viewers that help the Shack out. So again, back to the Twitch universe and the family always helping out. Nothing but good things to say, man.
Which card did you get?
So it's an NVIDIA CUDA card, which makes it a little different. So it's a server-based NVIDIA card that you can actually run VMware on and split the VM resources out from like a video card perspective. But what I'm doing with it on that box is just using everything I can to try to give it the main problem when you do a server and you run OBS like that is there's no keyboard, video, or mouse attached to it. So when you interact with the server, it's remote desktop, right?
Right.
Here's the frame rate. Dude, I mean, it without a beast of a card, the frame rate just goes in the trash sometimes, and
Yeah.
even with a beast card, it's bad. So
Crazy.
I'll get you the card number here in a minute. I'll have to look it up what I got.
I just wanted to know what it was.
months of research just to find one that would fit, and then because it's a Dell server, so everybody loves Dell, right? You got to find the card that works with Dell.
I know OBS Ninja, you can manually set the bit rate of the audio.
Yep.
I don't know if that would help. I have not streamed 300 hours straight.
Yeah.
Watched it to find
Rafik,
out.
speaking of streaming, you have a big stream coming up. You're going to be part of which charity event is it?
So this event's called Extra Life, and it supports the Children's Miracle Network hospitals.
Outstanding.
So,
Can
yeah,
you
it's
please,
great.
please post links to that in the chat.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to post them until people get angry enough to leave and donate.
And one of the mods, if you can create an Extra Life bang command, a bot command for that, that'd be great.
So so this is the 7th year. My company does it. I do all the tech and a ton of the organization behind the scenes. So it's a ton of work, and it's a lot of fun. So this Saturday we're streaming for 24 hours straight. So starts at 8 a.m. Pacific and goes till 8 a.m. On Sunday. It is crazy, but we're playing lots of games, and lots of games you can interact with in chat, like Gardic on stream. I know that one. You know, Billy, you've done the Mosh Pit one. We're going to have that one. Jackbox, all sorts of stuff. So, yeah, definitely come on over. It'll be a lot of fun. And then if you want to donate, that'd be fantastic. This charity is great because it's all volunteer. So 100% of the money goes to the charity.
Outstanding. Big up.
Yeah. It's
That's
fantastic.
a really good thing you're doing, man. I'll be sure to continually promote that and host that and everything else, man. Good stuff.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
So with this event coming up, how are you going to be applying OBS Ninja to this production?
Oh man, I've been I've been doing so much OBS Ninja stuff for the past 2 weeks. It's great software. So I'll maybe take a step back and explain like what I was kind of trying to solve. So, my company is called Mod Squad, the company I work for, and we're global, so we have people everywhere, right? So, we wanted a way to be able to interact in real time, right? Because if they're watching the stream, they're going to have that delay of 3 seconds, 8 seconds, 10 seconds, whatever, right? And so if they were watching that and on like a voice call, they wouldn't be all lined up with their interactions, right? So the idea was to have a way that everybody could see the same thing at the same time and then all be synced. So it'd be like us on a Zoom call, right? And we're all watching that Mucinex video, right? and it all, like, we could talk about it in real time, and then on the stream it's all going to be synced up. That was kind of the thing.
Nice. Gotcha.
I'd like to take a moment. Change it.
I gotta add a marker to that one.
Honey, we need a sponsorship, man.
It better be an emote.
Right. There better be a Mucinex emote incoming.
Yeah.
Okay, so you were saying, sorry.
Yeah, no, it's good. And so, yeah, that's what we're trying to solve for, to be able to interact, right? But the problem with Zoom or Google Meet or, anything like that is, as you said, you can't get individual feeds. So like right now, everybody watching, you can see, it's one big window of us, right? But with Zoom and the other stuff, you can't say, pull this one out and put it in the top right and pull this one out and put in the left and all that, right? So that's
the only other app I've seen that can do it is Skype over NDI, and I've had mixed results from that. Go ahead. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, so we used that last year. So last year we had 4 sites. So we had Sacramento, Austin, Derry, Northern Ireland, and then a kind of rotating one. And that was okay. We used Skype for that. And that uses NDI. I don't want to get too technical for everybody and scare them away. But yeah, that was the technology we used. One of the problems with that is
this is the scare away show, by the way.
Yeah, we're gonna get pretty deep. We're gonna get pretty deep on OBS Ninja. But yeah, the issue is that like in Skype, if you're using this NDI technology that lets you pull these out individually, if say you have 5 people and all those videos are live, and then a 6th person joins, and because Skype's window is whatever size, it doesn't show that 6th video, even though that person has video on. Then then the NDI doesn't work and that video gets killed. So that's the problem with running that in a bigger way, as well as just kind of, we just saw glitches last year, especially when you're running it for a while. So so what OBS Ninja does, it's the same concept where you can get these individual feeds and put them wherever you want. And the technology is really great. The big difference is Skype or Zoom or whatever, we're all going up to a server, right? And then it's coming back down as like one feed, right? So it's not very processor intensive or bandwidth intensive because it's, going through a server. OBS Ninja is peer-to-peer. So there is no server once you're hooked up. So the problem is the more people you get on, the more resources it takes. And the one that I saw that was worse is actually CPU. So if the more people you get, it'll actually just like kill your CPU, especially if you're doing like virtual cam out through OBS to that.
So it's almost a good idea if you're going ham on this, to like have a dedicated CPU, GPU for OBS Ninja, and then NDI that into your rendering machine that you're broadcasting.
So I've figured out all sorts of tricks. so we, we're doing all sorts of stuff. I think at most we're gonna have 10 people on it at once. Right?
Sick.
And that was really kind of getting to the point where it was kind of stretching it, right? And even fewer if everybody has video. So the workaround we did was we have everybody join the call, but without video, but their video is still being pulled through to the broadcast. And so then I have a virtual cam that goes out, which is the preview of what's going to go to Twitch. So with like a less than a second delay, everybody on that call can then interact with what's going to be going out to Twitch. And so that was a really
that's smart.
Good workaround. What I did again to get some more CPU back was basically bounce OBS Ninja to a different machine. So the streaming computer is sending the virtual cam to a room with nobody in it, but I can still pull the feed from that one and then send it out to another virtual cam to the room with the people in it.
Wow.
So
yep.
It's crazy. Like, it's pretty techie stuff, right? And there's tons of settings you can do, like bitrate for video, bitrate for audio, frames per second, resolution, really like anything. And that's what I've been kind of playing with for the past couple weeks to, just squeeze as much as I possibly could out of it. And it's been great. It's been great. But I mean, if you're just going in with the basics and you're trying to make it really big, you might run into problems. And then if you're not super techie, it can get complicated fast. But I would say it's a game changer. It's definitely a game changer.
Here is something that I could see myself using it for. First of all, I'll probably keep these conversations like this in Zoom, only because of the simplicity and the compatibility across whatever environment the person might be in. Because in these Zoom calls, it could be somebody on their phone, it could be somebody in multiple different environments, and it seems like having the Zoom app is sort of like having the Facebook app. Everybody's got it on their phone already. It's kind of an easy thing to do, right? Mm-hmm. Where I see myself using OBS Ninja is every now and then. Those who know the 916 Junglist events, they know that I'm not about having a headliner at all the shows. In fact, I'm more about celebrating our local heroes in our scene more than anything. We've always been that way. But we do have feature shows every now and then, right? And this could be a way to have an exclusive stream from an artist that you can say pay to for their time, and have them use OBS Ninja as the way to facilitate that, so that we can have Headliner X play at a 916 Junglist stream event and have it be exclusive to the channel, and still be able to produce it in a way that isn't like sharing a stream key or raiding into this person's channel.
Yeah.
Or things like that.
That will that'll probably work great. So one of the things that we're doing as part of this stream is people are going to play a game remotely, right? Like somebody's going to play Fall Guys, right? They're going to host it. Other people can join it. But through the virtual cam and OBS Ninja, they're going to send that feed to me. And then I'm going to broadcast it out. And the other people that are watching are going to be in that room so they can comment on it real time. And the quality is good. I mean, it's good enough to go back out to Twitch and like frame rate at like 30. I set it at 30 frames per second and it was good. So yeah, I mean, that'll definitely work. That's a really good use case.
One of my go ahead.
All I know is I had to fire up just to wrap my head around this shit.
Sorry, yeah, I knew. Sorry, I knew it was going to get pretty technical. I've been like so deep in this.
I've been setting the expectation. I've been setting the expectation from the very first episode of this show, that this is not the So You Want to Be a DJ show. There's plenty of those shows, and that's amazing. In fact, I'm a big fan of all those shows. So You Want to Be on Twitch is a great concept for a show, but that's not this show. We're purposely the black belt class, and that's and if anything, watch the VOD, take notes, and come back, revisit it. But we're all learning something. That's one of the two mission statements. The other thing I wanted to always let everyone know is that I'm not here to be the know-it-all. I'm just the spokesperson that's trying to bring our network together of collective minds and bring the experts into the room, right? So
I'll just add like this, like, we're doing a kind of a deep dive on this, right?
Right.
But it really is not hard to use.
Super easy.
It really is super easy.
Yeah.
If you've used OBS, it's a browser source.
Right.
That's it. It's a browser source. I mean, you can customize it,
right?
This and that, but like
simply
out of the
explained,
box, it's easy.
Simply explained, you're gonna send a link to somebody. They're gonna click that link, and they'll be able to zoom it up in their web browser, and you'll be able to see that on your end, and then broadcast that through OBS using a browser source. That's the simplest way to describe it.
Crop it down too and interact with it. One of the actually next week you can talk with Z-Trip about it. Z-Trip did a concert in Vermont remotely, and we set up using NDI and OBS. I'm sorry, and OBS Ninja. And the only headache we ran into was the audio quality. It got a little tinny here and there, and because OBS doesn't really have like a dedicated, master out per se. We're using like cable audio A, cable audio B. But then since I think when I first started broadcasting Call of Duty, Stevie B and I would use OBS Ninja, and we would send each other gameplay and the cameras, and then crop down our webcams and add all the elements to the webcam. So he'd be broadcasting and would both be on his screen, and then I'd be broadcasting and would both be on my stream. What's crazy, actually, I have a link for that if you guys just want to take a peek whenever.
Go to the chat. Awesome.
If once you get to partner, I don't know if you guys are aware of this thing they have, you can actually do 3 or 4 people playing a game or doing whatever together, and then the
streaming.
Squad stream. That's crazy. Like, maybe when one of us makes it to partner, we can start exploring ways to realm that into like the DJ thing, like have a party and viewers can pick who they want to hear.
I want to send a real quick. I want to send a massive shout out to Kova with Tweak Music Tips.
What's up, man?
A very, very great show to watch. Anybody who is not watching that and is a DJ or somebody looking to live stream, definitely check out Tweak Music Tips. A huge community of really helpful people, and an absolutely incredible show. He'll be back on Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific time. So make sure you tune into that. Kova is the man. He brought a lot of us together, including Josh and I. And so it's a good idea to check out Tweak Music Tips. I'm wearing the damn shirt. I mean, come on. I'm wearing the damn shirt. Okay. All right. So, any case, we're talking about OBS Ninja.
The thing that I love about OBS Ninja is that it can be just as simple and/or as complicated as you want to get into it. The mere fact that you can do everything that you were telling It's like, I love listening to smart people because it makes me feel like I'm eventually something's going to rub off on it. But it's also like, okay, man, like I know I got into it. Yeah. And maybe like ankle deep, but now I know that I can go for a full swim on it. I'm like, all right, game on.
What were the concerns?
I'm totally up for talking about it. If anybody wants to hit me up, after this week though, because I got to get through the charity stream. I've got so much more to work on for that. But you can get really, really deep on it.
Same here. Feel free to hit me up. Like I said, I moved 40 DJs to it in probably 2 hours. It's really that easy for me.
Should I be concerned about audio quality at this stage of OBS Ninja? Should I be concerned about the quality of the audio?
I don't know yet.
Consistency.
To Joshua's point, I think maybe it may. I don't know. I'm still, ever since he put the bug in my ear on the tinny sound, I've been after it, and I don't know if I've caught it yet. But at the same time, I don't have the ear that Mr. Carl down there does either. I don't think.
See, right now, because for those that don't know, right now we do a Saturday show called Inside the Ride, and what we do is we produce this show on Saturday nights where we have a DJ spin for an hour. And then we cut back to a conversation like this, a lot less nerdy, a lot more alcohol. And then it gets really bad in a good way. And then, and then we cut to another DJ for another hour. And then we come back to this. It goes on throughout the night. You guys pick it up on this. So what we do to produce that is no secret. What we do is we have the DJs stream to their own Twitch channel. And then we bring them in as a nice browser source at a line level audio, full production, and it looks clean. And the idea here is, and I'm not going to stop doing that because the idea for Saturdays is it's all about discoverability. So if they're playing on their channel and they're playing on the 916 Junglist channel, more power to them. And we're sending people to their channel purposely, follow this DJ. So it works out that they're actually playing on their own Twitch channel at the same time. But
well, sorry, yeah, I think you're going where I was gonna interrupt and go.
Well, when we're talking about having a headliner, what's gonna stop any other promoter or event from saying, yeah, we've got this guy too, because we know that they're going to be streaming at this time because Billy organized it for his channel, so we're going to organize our own event around that too, right? And so I see OBS Ninja being a way to create an exclusive wall and also allow me to say, pay a headliner a fee for their time on that. You know what I mean? Or something like that.
And the other thing even better, right, is now I don't have to have the, hey, do you have a Twitch account conversation really too? So I can get them in easily by giving them a link and then just say, hey, all we need to do is work your audio out, your video out. Here's the link. We're done. And
with
a lot
OBS
of them appreciate that stuff.
With OBS 26, it's easy now. Because in OBS 26, you literally just press the button that says start virtual camera, and then you can choose OBS in your browser and you're good to go. So before there was like, okay, you have OBS. Okay, let's install this plugin. Let's get you configured. And I was like, fuck all that. All right. But now that you can literally just press start virtual camera and OBS is now your webcam, the possibilities are wide open, in my opinion, with this OBS Ninja thing.
Yeah. So, even the way that Inside the Ride works, where you're basically picture in picture, right? Right. They could still do their own channel and send you the OBS Ninja. Right. So you would have a better feed with a lot less delay.
That's exactly what the Shack does. So I promote my guys and I say, hey, use your Twitch feed, but simulcast on the Shack at the same time and use OBS Ninja for that, for your video. Audio, we feed a different way, obviously, because I mentioned the podcast earlier. But that being said, exactly what you're saying there, man. Same exact thing. You're right.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I think of just being a fan of the music or in general, and it's a better interactive thing knowing that you're watching that DJ playing live as opposed to they recorded a set at their house for the specific thing and it'll be in at the specific time. They feel like they're more a part of a show. Right. And it feels like how it does at a club. And with a program like this, it's leaning in that direction where it's as close as it possibly can be for an interactive viewer other than standing in front of that person while they're playing. And that's huge.
And you're talking about what you're talking about, E-Rock. Joshua Carl, you could probably chime in on this too. The implementation of trigger fire and being able to create this interactivity where they can change scenes, they can even queue up themselves. I saw it over the weekend. The homie Vortuzo was using OBS Ninja for the Halloween show, and we were able to do the viewer cam by clicking on the link in our costumes, and he was bringing us in. You know what I mean? We would, and he was able to see us, cue us up ahead of time, make sure it wasn't Captain Whip Out on the camera, and then and send it through. It was amazing.
Yeah, you just basically have like a
now
web
I know
link
my
that
costume.
redirected.
Are you gonna be Captain Whip Out for Halloween next year?
Oh man. So Ben Hart's Jungle made a comment in the chat. He was asking how are you guys pumping in the audio? Like, I've got dreams of how you're probably doing it, but how are you guys putting the audio into it?
Which for OBS Ninja?
Yeah.
So Iraq or Matt, this question's for you guys. How are you bringing audio in through OBS Ninja?
So, well, for me, let me kind of start with like, we're not doing music, right? We're not doing DJ stuff. So like the bar for quality is pretty low for what we're doing for this. But yeah, the way you get it back out is with voice meter. I don't know if anybody's used that. I know Joshua, you talked about the virtual audio cables. So so basically the virtual audio cable and then voice meter, and then basically you're going to feed that. The virtual cam out does not have audio with it. So basically you got to get the audio into voice meter, and then it becomes a source to get out. If voice meter you need, if you're going to put it like send it in two directions or more,
right?
If you're just going to do it in one direction, then you just need the virtual cable to do it.
I love One Direction.
Yeah,
don't we all?
It just depends for me on my side. Most of the people I'm interacting with are DJs and have some kind of independent sound control. So when they're coming in OBS Ninja, they're typically just bringing in their mixer board or whatever else is going on in their studio. So I haven't had a lot of issues there. And again, like I said, the Sugar Shack side, I'm bringing them in via an encoder, and we're running that at 320. So I can get 320 quality from an audio perspective for my listeners outside of Twitch. But if you hit in Twitch, obviously we're down to Twitch quality. But again, that goes back to podcasts too, right? I want to make sure that what I provide my residents from a podcast perspective is the highest quality I can at a storage constraints, but you know what I'm saying. So 320 it is, right?
What other?
I'm sorry.
I was just saying, what other kind of like pro tip that I've figured out? I've fixed so many problems trying to set this damn thing up, but OBS defaults to 48 kilohertz, and voice meter is 44, right? So if you have to do 44 in voice meter, or else you're going to get like a 5-second delay. Yeah, it took me a while to figure that out, but that was super annoying. So
you got to drop the sample rate in OBS back down to 44.
Right, so they're the same, and then it doesn't have to do the
which is fine
and all that. Yeah, it's totally fine. It's just one of those things that like, okay,
a good standard to live by with OBS is just make everything match with video and audio side. Right. The more you do that, both in resolution, frame rates, audio quality, the less headaches you're going to have.
Right. Yeah, it's definitely a good pro tip, folks. Depending on the size of your OBS output, like right now I'm outputting 720/30. All of the assets that I make, I design them in 720/30 on purpose because I don't want my computer working extra hard to transcode it into whatever it needs to be in order for it to be output. And you can see it definitely reduces the resources being used. So excellent point there.
And man, I'm fried. I've been working on this thing so much. I was going to say, shit. Oh yeah.
Right before the show.
Garbage in, garbage out. So like, when you watch NCIS or whatever, enhance, that's bullshit. Right. So if you have a feed coming in at 720p.
Wait, there's no enhance? There's no enhance button? Yeah.
I have an enhance key.
I have one. I got one. Don't tell anybody.
Enhance.
But like, if you have a feed coming in at 480p, don't blow it up to 720 or 1080.
Right.
Ever. It's going to look like shit. So that's kind of like,
you can do it on purpose.
Everything
if you know
the
what
same
you're doing,
is great. But like, that's another kind of like beginner's tip.
Absolutely.
That, don't resize a JPEG that's the size of a dime up to a billboard.
Which goes back to the 96 kilobit YouTube rip that you changed to wave, and that's now high quality audio.
Right.
Yeah, that'll work. That'll 100% make it sound better.